getting a deal today. All right, now I'm definitely gonna speed it up because I saw how much battery we got. All right, pretty much guys, what we're gonna talk about today, simple. I'm gonna talk to you guys about the insurance. I'm gonna talk to you about the process that these new homeowners go through when they're getting it. I'm gonna talk to you guys about how you explain it. I'm gonna talk to you about how you entice your buyer to listen to you. This is not how to get you to sell it. This isn't a method to teach you to make the sales easier. This is simply to get you their attention better. All right, when they listen to you, sometimes you can tell they're just kind of like appeasing you and they're trying to hurry up so that they can just ask you for a card or give you some smoke screen to get you out, and you can kind of feel that energy. But maybe you can say something that they don't expect or that they weren't necessarily aware of, and then it builds curiosity. And once you've got their curiosity and they're not really aware of what's going on, they don't have a clear understanding of what's happening, the only way for them to figure out what the heck is going on right now is to listen to you. Does that part make sense before I go forward? When you confuse somebody, the only way for them to get unconfused is to let you talk longer so they can figure it out. So that's what this is, all right? All these new homeowners, I don't care what state I go to, I don't care what market I'm in, I don't care the house price, right? As long as they are the owner, they've went through a process to become the owner, right? And it starts with what? We're gonna get pre-qualified, we're gonna make sure financially we're allowed to have the house. Okay, then we're gonna go look for a house with somebody and they're gonna help us find it, and we're gonna put in an offer, all right? That's gonna start a process. Now we've gotta go figure out things about the house. We're gonna inspect it, all right? And now when the inspector comes out, he's gonna do his inspection. He's gonna tell him what's right with the house, what's wrong with the house. And then he's gonna say, hey, I've got a few referrals for you on some things. He was like, I have a security guy, and I have a roof guy, and I have a landscaper guy. Okay, so these home inspectors have referral networks, and they'll take a swipe at them for security. If you don't believe me, trust me, they do it all the time, okay? Then they're gonna try to price out all the electric, the water, the cable, right? Try to figure out if they can get in this house and then afford the bills, okay? And they're gonna call through and set up services when they buy the home. And the services are gonna try to robocall and attach them from cable, bounce them over to internet, bounce them over to sign up for trash, bounce them over to sign up for security. They're gonna try to take a swipe at them. That's again, all right? When you go to close on a home, after you get the inspections and all that, you're gonna send over all the proof that you can afford it, that you have a job, that you are who you say you are, right? And before you close, what you have to put in place is homeowners insurance. You have to put that in place for an entire year. You'll buy the first policy for a year, and then you'll give that information to the loan writer. The reason you're doing that is because you're gonna prepay it. If you sign documents at the closing table for an address for a home, you now own that home the second you sign that. So if you happen to sign that and then you leave out, you're going to the elevator, leaving out of the closing process, and that house gets struck by lightning and burns to the ground and you haven't made it over to the insurance office yet, you're screwed. So that's why you have to have insurance in place on the paperwork that you're signing. So as soon as it transfers ownership, that policy's in place immediately. And it's prepaid. So a part of your mortgage isn't for the actual house itself. $300–400 is siphoned off for things like homeowners insurance, real estate taxes. Those are all baked into your monthly mortgage payment, okay? So when you go shopping for homeowners insurance, it's no different than car insurance, okay? And they ask you certain things. Do you park on the street? Do you drive ride share for work, right? They're trying to assess your risk so that they can say, all right, for us to insure your house in this area with this many people in it, with no garage, and you guys have a pool that people could sneak into, it's gonna cost you $150 a month. But then they'll ask you questions. You guys have sprinkler? Okay. You guys have security cameras and a monitored system? Do you guys have monitored smoke detectors? Do you plan on getting it? Because everybody says no when they're a new homeowner. Why? Because they haven't bought the house yet. They haven't gotten in and set anything up yet. But they ask always when they're setting up insurance, do you guys plan on doing it? These people get qualified multiple times for security. They've been asked and prodded all the way through until we get there multiple times. So when I teach this method, it is based on knowing the facts of how a new homeowner goes from looking for a house to buying a house to owning a house, okay? So in the escrow account, there's real estate taxes, there's property taxes, and then there's insurance every month. You don't write a check to the insurance company. You don't write a check to State Farm for homeowners insurance. It comes out of your mortgage under the escrow portion. Okay? You've got to understand it so that you can explain it. Now, when I show up, I run our door pitch. Hi, I'm Tyler with Safe Haven ADT's authorized dealer. I'm actually the relocation manager that was assigned to the closing. Do you remember anybody mentioning we'd be swinging by to explain the new homeowners program, or did you get the packet in the mail? To explain the new homeowners program. That's my first breadcrumb urgency. I'm here to explain it. I'm not here to set up a time or come back, or I'm here to explain it. All right, so that's the first breadcrumb. They get that from me before I even qualify. Do you see that? So then when we go to it, they're obviously going to be confused when I say I come to explain the new homeowners program. All right, so as you see, guys, in the pitch, you're going to dig a little bit deeper. You're actually in a special category. That's why they'll send me out here once as a courtesy, just to explain this to you guys. And now I'm going to connect dots for them so I can get their full attention. Like, for example, do you guys remember how you did your homeowner's insurance for a year up front and it's part of your escrow? That's step one. The reason I asked that question is because A, they all remember it, B, they all say yes, and C, they're now paying attention because this seems like a serious conversation. Can y'all see that? Perfect. So we're going to get them on the yes train. So do you guys remember how you, when you were buying the home and everything, that you signed up for your homeowner's insurance for a year up front as part of your escrow? Yeah, I remember that. Perfect. Well, a portion of those funds get held until you meet with someone like myself that explains the new homeowners program to see if you want to use it to lower the risk on the home for theft, vandalism, and fire. Okay? I'm going to say that again. You guys remember how you did your escrow for a year up front when you close on a home for your homeowner's insurance? Yeah. Perfect. Well, a portion of those funds get held until somebody like me comes out to explain the new homeowners program, just to see if you want to use it and answer any of your questions to see if you want to use it to lower the risk of theft, vandalism, and fire in the home. We are going to let them know that they got charged full price. They got charged full price up front because the insurance company is using that as leverage to get them to protect the home quicker. All right, so they're holding their money. Once you get, if you get this done and you lower the risk on the home for theft, vandalism, and fire, they release those funds back to you. Now you guys got to understand something here. I'm not explaining anything more than the homeowner's insurance discount. Do you get that? They hold those funds until somebody like me comes out to explain this to see if you want to use it to lower the risk. And if you do, then after install, they'll release those funds back to you. That is no different than, yeah, if you guys put a security system in here, it's less likely of a break-in, and they'll give you guys back anywhere from 10 to 20%. Now, that sounds like a raggedy old discount. That happens every day. The way I said it, it feels like J.G. Wentworth. It's my money and I need it now. They hold those funds until you meet with me so I can explain this to see if you're going to use it to lower the risk. And if you do, they'll release those funds back to you. But that's why the new homeowner programs exists, in order to get you to speed this up. All right? Now, I don't say credit or anything like that, the $2,300 credit, or they have this, right? That's probably what they're going to have in their head, and you might want to go on to explain later what the new homeowner program is. They get certain incentives, freebies, and discounts. And that's why they'll send you out to help customize that system without them coming out of pocket. You want to stay away from specific numbers, right? But the truth is this, man. We're going out there to try to lower the risk on that home of a break-in. We're putting in monitored smoke detectors. We're lowering the risk of a fire, and it's going to drop their homeowner's insurance anywhere from 8 to 20%, I've seen. Okay? Do not give strict numbers like, hey, you get 15% back. Don't do that because A, you don't know for sure, and B, if you do that specific, they're going to call to verify if your specifics were correct. And what if they're not, right? Insurance is not a reason at all to get security. Oh, I get a discount. Let me add a bill. No, all right? But it's nice to get a little bit of money back and not have to bear the burden of the entire cost of ADT. Like, oh, I pay for 80%, they pay for 20%. Cool, right? So when you're explaining why you come out and you redo the system without them coming out of pocket, it's the same urgency that you're speaking to here. They hold that money to get you to protect it sooner, and then they just give it back to you. It's an incentive. They want this done as soon as possible. So if you can see what I'm actually doing with this method is I'm saying the reason we're getting it done sooner or later, I'm not the bad guy. The insurance company is the one that wants this done as soon as possible, guys. I'm just out here to see if you want to use it or not to lower the risk. This puts you not in a threatening salesman position. You're there to answer questions and see if they want to use it. This is consultative. If you do this method, you also have your sales rabbit out immediately, and you're plugging in equipment, answering questions, and submitting that, whatever, 2,000 in equipment on sales rabbit, and then it says balance due 0. This is about getting them to the point where they see you owe me nothing to redo this. They just got to get to that point. You've got to buy time to talk so that you can build your credibility. And doing it this way, you have ultimate credibility. And they feel that it's safe to ask questions and be like, yeah, we were looking at getting cameras later and blah, blah, blah. But if this is a deal where I don't have to, because I was just going to wait until like we settled in. But that's what lends to this whole, when I tell them you have to be the new owner, when I'm trying to verify your ownership, guys, that's what I'm here to do, okay? I explain the program, see about lowering the risk on the home, I answer any questions you may have about using it and explain the options, and then my job is to just verify your ownership, all right? These deals do happen quicker. You remain in control the entire time, okay? You're pretty much going around explaining the options and saying, is that something you're more wanting? More motions or cameras? Do you guys want cameras with that? Okay, I notice you guys don't have a doorbell camera, so what we'll do is we'll do the exterior where you can still speak through it, so it'll be like a doorbell camera, but since you don't have the wire, we'll be able to achieve it the same way. All right, keeping control, more consultative, not as salesy. You're not trying to convince them about security, okay? Because we still did our process at the door where we qualify them, right? Once they said, yeah, I'm probably gonna do it later, that's when this starts of, yeah, my job's to explain the options and see if you wanna use it. And then I start chopping on that. It's a reward for being proactive. I get sent out here to move it up the to-do list. That's why this program exists. That's why the insurance will hold that money until I come out to explain it, because they want you to lower this risk as soon as possible too. It's that first 90 days of ownership we're seeing these occurrences. That's why they send me to bug you. You tie it all together, all right? You gotta understand, if you've been with an insurance company for less than 90 days and you signed a 30-year mortgage, 30 years, and you've been with this insurance company for 90 days and your house is already burnt down, they got to write you a check for 300 grand. They're tired of doing that. They'd rather you put monitored smoke in. They'll give you like $12 back every month, right? We're all happy. The proactive part is what you're there to achieve. So if you can anchor the entire thing around that, these deals don't stall out. They don't put off. But at the very least, these people understand we're either doing business today or I'm out. But I'm getting either a no or a yes. There's no maybe in this equation. Guys, we fail because we accept maybes. Best thing you can learn in this game is no's don't hurt. They're far less fatal than a maybe. Right? Think about that. There's power in getting a no, because then you never got to go back. You know where you stand, you use your time more efficiently, and you're not over here trying to pitch somebody that you shouldn't be pitching, right? There's power in making somebody give you a no, because that teaches you to make somebody give you a yes. That's the difference between selling and closing, my friends. So if I can get you in a frame where you're walking around that house in control and you have sales rabbit out and you're tallying up and you're showing them that it should be $2,000, but it's 0 to them, as long as you verify their ownership and they are actually the owner. That's really it. And if that's the case, then putting this in will lower the risk and they'll release those funds back to you. Okay? Now, what are we still gonna do in the house? We're still gonna cut up. We're still gonna have fun. We're gonna bob in and out of being uber professional, walk through, explaining things very serious, right? For the new homeowner, to, it's me, Pressure P, and just cutting through and having fun with these guys. That still has to be there, because don't lose sight, man. It's a $50 bill. Jesus, I'll spend more than that on energy drinks this week, I promise. All right, it's not that serious. So if you see me in there nonchalant, bobbing and weaving, the explanation of all this really takes place at the door, and it's pretty quick. And then you ask a question or two about the layout, and assumptively you're in the home so you can answer those questions and explain their options. That's the strongest line in the world. I'm just here to answer your questions and explain all the options to you, see if you want to use it. Like, tell them straight up what you're there to do, right? All this, hey man, we're not selling anything. I never get asked that. I never get told, hey, we're not interested real quick. I don't. You know why? They don't get a chance. You know what I'm there to do and that I'm different than the sales department before you're allowed to open your fat mouth. All right, now you may speak. Because they don't get to talk until, once I say, are you the new homeowner? That's the only time they get to talk until I qualify. Zip it. Keep your control. If you're giving away control, if they open the door and go, oh, no, thanks, man, not interested, it's a couple things. Number one, you have flashed that logo, and they've seen it, and they prejudge. Security system, I don't want security. I don't believe in security. I'm going to tell you no real quick. All right? Or, no, we're not interested. That means you're evoking the look of a salesperson, and they can prejudge that because they can smell it on you before you even talk. Think about that. But you're supposed to play a different role? So what, you got to convince them that they're wrong? Oh no, I'm not here to sell anything, man. I'll tell you that. You've already lost, Papa. You've already lost. We're in a first impression business. Now, if I'm just simply sitting here with my phone, very nonchalant, and I tell you real quick, do you remember how you did the insurance? And I'm jogging their memory, and they're like, yeah. And he signed up for a year up front. Yeah, how the F did you know that? I just know too much. I'm a professional. I do this all the time, right? The reason I say, I remember how I know you guys probably signed like 700 pages at closing. I'm giving them an easy out to say, yeah, that's probably why I don't remember this. And they bite on it every time. Y'all have watched me pitch now, yeah? If you heard me say, I remember you signed like 700 pages. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm giving you your out, take it. Okay, that's why I don't remember, it was a lot. That's the only time they get to talk, guys, until I qualify. Then when I qualify, if they say, yeah, but that's what I want the maybe. So I can convert it, so I can explain what I'm doing there, and it's gonna be quick. When we're in the house, that's when the rest of the stuff comes back. You explain the 5-minute, you explain why we're out here quickly, right? That's a justification. You explain the insurance problem and how they're tired. You bring this plight of the new homeowner to life. It's not a 5-minute pitch, man. This is a story about something that happened to your buddy that you've told a couple times. Yeah, he moved in and freaking, he changed the locks, right? Because he works at Home Depot, he gets them for free. And, you know, he didn't know about bump keys because they don't sell those at Home Depot. They sell those online, right? But you know what a bump key is. Bring it to life, okay? Every one of y'all knows some long-ass joke that's like your go-to joke that you can deliver like a champion even when you're blitzed. That's nothing more than a good joke. Only the punchline is, haha, it's free. Now pay me. Like, as long as your credit's pending. Don't shy away from that 5-minute because that's naturally explaining why we need to be proactive. That's naturally explaining why this program even exists, right? But being in the frame of consultative, we are going to be talking about this. You guys are safe to ask me questions so that we can use that to figure out what their hot buttons are, right? We frame this as a natural part of what a homeowner goes through. You get your insurance, then we see about coming and getting you the discount that they talked to you about when you signed up for it, okay? They hold a portion of those funds till I come to explain this, just to see if you wanted to use it to lower the risk for theft, vandalism, and fire. My job is just to explain your options, and then if you wanted to use it to verify the ownership real quick. I mean, guys, give them your turtley for the turtle club, bro. Give them the shoulders. It's nothing. It's no big deal. Y'all know Bodega Poppy? Y'all ain't never got a store like that where you go in and it's just like some old dude probably from Dominican Republic and he's behind the bulletproof glass, but he doesn't snitch. That's why he's been in business for 30 years. Y'all don't ever have a gas station around here like that? Hey, did you see who stole my car? No, I didn't see nothing. You don't have that?
My liquor store guys like that.
Okay, same deal. Any kind of sales, right? Yeah, he's very nonchalant, right? There's no problems. This is not a big deal. Somebody could have just got shot. He didn't see that. It's not a big deal. Right? You need to have that vibe. This is a $50 bill, guys. I'm gonna keep saying to you, this is not a big deal. This is literally something you already plan on doing at some point. My job is just to see if you want to use this to lower it. And when we explain that to people properly at the door, when we explain about the new homeowners program, or new homeowners credit, or whatever you wish to use, whatever lingo that won't get you in trouble, all right? They bite. Their demeanor turns. If you guys have watched me do it, they go, oh, really? Just that littlest thing that you hear should tell you you're about to get paid, right? You guys hear micro expressions all the time. When you explain, I'm Preston with Safe Haven, ADT's authorized dealer. Oh, okay, great. You know you're getting that deal, yeah? Just don't fumble. These micro expressions are in everything. So when I explain, I'm just here because you have this thing over here that you can use to re-customize the house the way you want it to without coming out of pocket as long as you are the owner. And then I hear, oh, really? I've got you. I've at least got you for the walkthrough, right? And then when you get to the end, it's what I was explaining before. The way I close, right? I tell them there's a catch. I want to see the negativity. I want to see that there always is. I want to see hands on hips. I want to see sassy attitudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, haha, gotcha. I knew it. Because I want them to think that I'm getting ready to hammer them some big quote. So when I show them that 0, it immediately takes all the pressure out of the close. Everything I've just said has stacked up, lined up, and checked out true. Because my job is just to verify ownership, and I am on that phone. I haven't charged anything. You hear them tell you that there's supposed to be a fee, but I've waived it, right? Then I recap, hey, look, you do your paperwork with the technician in case you want to make any changes. That way they don't feel like they just made a final decision. Like, when I leave, I need them to be calm still. So remind them, hey guys, again, this was the work order and stuff. Like I said, you don't actually do your paperwork and sign up with ADT until the technician comes and gets the work done and you're happy with the work. That way, in case you guys want to make changes or anything, he can do it on the spot with you guys while he's there. That takes the pressure off what just happened, right? So when you leave, they're not like, what did we just do? Now all they're thinking is, okay, well, if I want to add a camera or something like that or whatever, just wait for the tech. That's what you're trying to direct there, okay? And then when you get to the end and it's done and you've left, they're recapping in their head that you showed up and you did exactly what you said. You showed them all their options, you explained it, you threw in that smoke maybe to lower the risk even more. You explained how they're going to get their money back 3 days after install. You did verify that they're the owner and made them say on the recorded line to ADT that they're the owner. You set the install and you didn't charge them anything. At the very most, you charged the activation fee, but that wasn't you. That's because we use the cell phone towers and it has a SIM card and we can't get away from cutting out AT&T for their money or Verizon. So unfortunately, that's going to them. And it's an activation fee for them. It has nothing to do with us, but it's one time, right? You guys can do things like that. You just got to figure out how to put that verbiage together so it makes sense. And that when you leave and they replay this, it's exactly what you said it was. Cool? You know how you sell anything? You make shit make sense to people. I'm allowed one cuss word, it's cool. You make it make sense. Who knows the name Rico Beard? Yeah? They call him the GOAT, yeah?
Yeah.
I trained this to him. He used to be an installer. So now he goes, does it make sense to pay for something that's already been paid for? That's his clip. Does it make sense? That's a terrible Rico voice. I can usually do good impersonations. Rico's tough. It takes me a few minutes to warm up to get a good Rico impression, but because he's a different character, right? But he makes it make sense to them. And he's just himself because it's not a big deal. It's a $50 bill. He's engaging, he's funny, and he's able to make this part of this process make sense, right? Where they're able to ask questions. They're not over here trying to figure out a smoke screen or a lie that you'll believe. They're not guarded. They're like, well, do you guys do carbon? They're asking questions like they're shopping, right? That's what you want. That's what this will create, this method, is, yeah, take me around and show me what you got. I'll explain, see what you want, your options. That's what this will feel like, right? So even I was in the backyard with that lady she was still hell bent, right? And then she went back on it, but she was right out that house, walking around to the back with us, blah, blah, blah. And she wanted to go shopping. Cool. So try it 1 or 2 times, guys. It works with a little people that are drier, that aren't as fun. This method hits hard because it'll match their personality and they're efficient. Like, let's just try to get to the point. All right. It'll also get you better at getting a yes or a no doing this method. My job is just to see if you want to use it or not. I'm literally pushing you at them and saying, go get me a yes or a no. My job is to make you say that you might do it maybe one day. Or not, maybe not. None of you ever pitch like that, right? All right, you are not sitting out there to get a maybe. Give me a yes or a no. I'm cool with either, right? I'm actually cool with more no's than yeses. That means you're pushing. That means you're pushing. All right. Average install rate and a healthy install rate is anywhere between 80 and 83%. In my region, it's 74%. Do you know why? because we push. But we close a lot more. The numbers will go higher because you're hitting your 20s and your 30s. If you want to install 30, you got to be able to write at least 30. Does that make sense? So then we showed up just to explain it to you, see if you want to use it to lower the risk on the house, and see if you want to use it or not. So my job is to verify your ownership. Put yourself in a position to do that, to make them make it. My job is to get you to make a decision, one way or the other. Tell them. It's to get you to make it quickly because it's a reward for being proactive. We're tired of seeing people put it off, and that's what's kind of gotten these guys taking advantage of new homeowners. So I come as quick as possible to try to bug you, get it done sooner. Tell them. I'm here to get it done sooner. That way when you try, they're like, I can't believe you're